So you've probably seen, if you're watching this, my other stuff that I put on my channel. A lot of weird miscellaneous things that I was planning to probably share to my children someday to show them what kind of a weirdo I was growing up. But I want to start posting regular things that go into more in-depth conversation of music and literature and analysis of anything. Do you have a suggestion for what I want to talk about? Sure, go for it. Because I have a lot of things that I want to say that I can never say because I'm just too introverted to go talk to anyone about it. Because I've been writing for years, narratives, and no, I'm not finished writing any books yet, but I want to do something that'll help me progress my analysis of life and things in general. And so this way I was able to do that one random February day is writing platform. And so I've thought about it a lot since then, and I'm like, maybe I should analyze this more for me and people if they're interested. And no one could watch this. I'd be fine with that, but this is more for me than anything. Okay, let's get started. So let's get straight into it. So you walk down the street. First thing we see is that it's in second person. Now, not a lot of things are written in second person because it's a rather uncomfortable way to write. But since this is a short story, I was able to have more leeway in getting away with it. And I felt like it was a good way to emphasize the oppression that's felt in this dystopian world, more so than that of a first person or third person narrative. And then the platform goes on to mention and feed lies into the main character. It's time to visit your father. All seniors are lonely. Your father hasn't had visitors in a long time. You're going to change that. Sort of building up the individual, making them feel special in a world that's up to them. Because it's almost idolatry in a way, because you feel praised, you feel worshipped, you feel special. And though it's coming from a machine, it's implanted in you. It's a part of you that changed. And so there's sort of a line of distinction that was lost in between there. One of the first situations in which the platform begins to show some of its good qualities that may have appealed to the people before they were transformed and had their implants made is right here. Did you know a better word for a homeless person is a vagabond? Follow dictionary _1 for more information. So right off the bat, we see that one intention of the platform would be to help improve vocabulary. And I mean, that is just an example of one of many things that it could do, hypothetically. You walk into the Maurice retirement facility. I like using allusions and references. So right here, I put reference to the Latin phrase Maurice, which means you die or death in Latin. And I wanted to skip ahead. Right here, there's more facts. 3,948 people are influenced by him. That's the word that's where I got it. Influencer. Someone is being influenced by someone else. It has a sort of negative connotation on it. And it's supposed to resemble something along the lines of a more controlling circumstance. Right here, it says, your job is very impactful to our community, and I'm grateful. That's very dystopian in the sense that it sounds forced, and how no one would say that naturally. They just say, oh, thank you, you're so sweet. Something along those lines. But by specifically pointing out your job is very impactful to our community, and I'm grateful, that would be something that an AI form would make because in paper it looks sincere because there's more words and there's more language and all that good jazz, but it's not sincere because when you say it, no matter how you say it, you can be as sincere as you want, it's still going to be somewhat peculiar to say that out of the blue. And then there's reassurance from the platform to her, and then there's just more um, information that's hinting how the platform has transformed the world into something more malevolent. And it's also hinting how there is a dissatisfaction towards seniors. There's a dissatisfaction towards seniors because seniors, that's alluding to the old and the wise. And by saying that, they've experienced more in life, and if you've experienced more in life, then you know right and wrong, and it's better than someone else who might be younger and more likely to be exposed to something worse and become a part of something even worse. And so, by the platforms disliking the seniors and the old people, then it's basically trying to get rid of any chance that it could be stopped, basically. And then we are introduced to Joe Smith, or the dad. Ugh, this is disgusting. Tastes worse than the food my daughter gave me. Speaking of which, where is she? He has a very dry and agitated sense, which comes from his disgust from everything that's happening nowadays, which he later explains. There's still a sentimental moment right here. Hey, Daddy, it's so great to see you again. By saying that the platform isn't fully sucking all the life out of her quite yet, but it's more of a trust process where she envelops herself in the platform rather than the platform enveloping her. Otherwise, people would get suspicious. They want everyone to have the platform, the people that make the platform. They want to be rich, be famous, or whatever. And then, obviously, the dad has noticed all the changes that have happened to her, and how the daughter mentions that she had cosmetic surgery because she feels like she needs to become a different person because her life has been so impacted by the platform. And right here we see the dad's personality. The other day, I was in fact reading some C.S. Lewis to a few men down. The other day, I was in fact reading some C.S. Lewis to the men a few doors down. They have cataracts, which are characterized by an opaque blurring of the normal translucent part of the eye. Oh right, I have had surgery. Funny you notice with the dementia and all. And so right here you can see how the platform is becoming suspicious and is already irritated with Joe Smith, as we see. He's lying. Someone told him to say that when really the platform is lying to her, to trying to confuse her, to disorient her, to sort of set her back on the track that the platform wants her. We use figurative language right here to show humanity in the dad because the platform isn't able to use figurative language. And right here, the dad is getting more upset because the daughter's not trusting him. Your mother's maiden name was Mabel. She died 7 years ago in July, and I had eggs and biscuits for breakfast this morning along with 2 pills. I only ate one because the other was for dementia. Okay, so this both has long-term and short-term memories of sentimental and non-important values and memories that he's had. Most people with dementia, they don't remember anything recent. They have very they have very bad short-term memory. And I had eggs and biscuits for breakfast along with 2 pills, and I ate only one because the other one was for dementia. That would clearly explain how it would clearly explain that he does not have dementia and that the platform is just trying to lie to him. And so we see how she slowly becomes more loose in the tethers that is pulling close to the platform, and the platform is being more serious and more adamant. You ask, but no, he does. Don't trust his lies. Remember your training in the videos that you've watched. I've prepared you for these situations. And we still see the dad being heartfelt. No, sweetie, I've been here writhing in this cursed world of ours. Things weren't the same back in my day. There were no advanced people, just people. So everyone sees the senior citizens as the old, the ugly, the abandoned. And everyone who has a platform is advanced. They are part of an advanced people. And so we finally see how the daughter has concluded that the dad does not have dementia. The platform is very irritated and comments that she should go. That she should go. She's already met the social expectation for today, which is sort of your place in society. But in society, you sort of have an expectation that you have to meet in order to be human, in order to function as well as others, to have empathy, to have feelings. You would meet that social expectation and nothing more, which is the same thing as being heartless and cold, which is exactly what the platform wants. And so it says we should leave, we gotta go home. Instead, you stay in defiance. You talk with him for hours. That is out of pure joy and pure happiness out from the daughter. She recalls a sentimental memory of, do you remember the time when Mom left the pancakes on the stove and she almost burned the house down? She cried, the pancakes, they almost killed us, with that high voice of hers. You laughed and snorted, but you react differently to your usual laughter. See, that's also saying that there's no laughter in with the platform, because it's like mindless entertainment nowadays. Things used to have purpose, used to have value in what you put out for content, but now it's just pointless. It's just time wasting, time consuming. Things you could be unfolded, untouched, like books, like short stories, like this right now. And it has a deeper meaning that it wants to portray. Sure, you can have a meaning and straight out say it in the TV show, don't do drugs, kids, blah, 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 but that doesn't do anything. And then we finally find out right here that the platform is a part of her. And it says, he reaches for your chest. He's threatening me. Stop him. No, you shout and lunge backwards. That's good, very good. That could have been bad. He almost took me away from you. And that's more of a personal level between the platform and their owner, because it's very selfish. Because the dad was trying to help her daughter. The daughter wanted help from her dad, and yet the platform separated them. And it just goes to show how it seeps in, the platform can seep into someone's mind and separate everything from it. And the grandpa even acknowledges, you've met your social expectations this month. Goodbye, sweetie. That's basically saying that he's competent and that he's understanding what the world has become, which has already been established. But then the daughter's curiosity is perked and is piqued, and the daughter's curiosity is piqued, and then she asks, wait, what would happen if I took it off? And then she considers removing the platform from her, or at least trying to, wondering what it would be like without it, because her memory has been fogged and blocked by the platform. And then the dad gets very close with her and asks her, do you know what it's like without the platform? Do you know what it's like to have life without it? And then she can't remember, and he calls it joy. And she likes joy. She wants to be happy. She wants to actually be happy, other than having mindless entertainment or being fulfilled by whatever technological garbage the platform says is good in her mind. And right here we find the more sinister side of, we see the evil side of the platform. Stop this right now before you're hurt. I care about you, which is why I'm sorry to do this. I have to administer a small electric shock. I love you. And then it goes into detail how the platform has basically electrocuted her to sort of put her in her place. And no one's coming to see her because they realize what is happening. Because when you see someone writhing on the floor with a big platform on their chest, then they're like, oh, must not have paid attention to her platform. And then right here is especially important how it talks the platform's opinion on books. It was previously mentioned about C.S. Lewis and how the platform sort of miffed it off or just left it off, didn't want to talk anything about it. And it says books, period, how repulsive. That specific diction saying how it's so disgusted by books because books can express multiple opinions. It's a much longer, it has a much longer script, a much longer writing period than do TV shows or anything like that. Because with books, you sort of have your own adventure that you have to find because you have to be reading, which is still something, rather than just sitting there and absorbing information into your brain from TV. And so with that story that's in the book, there's a lesson to be learned under it. With TV shows, it's just play along with it, which you don't learn anything from then. You just have information of what that show is trying to tell. But you feel good when you read a book. You have that message that's delivered. It could be good, it could be bad, depending on who wrote it, why they wrote it, and how they wrote it. And as you... maybe that should be the... And so the dad is begging the daughter, please, please stay with me. I'm lonely, I'm tired, I need company. People have forgotten me, abandoned me just because I don't choose to be advanced. Another thing that the society has accepted, the platforms have sort of set into reality, is the idea that if you're different, then you're not wanted, which is straight up segregation and separation. And the daughter, fear for herself, seeing that she doesn't want to be electrocuted again, becomes a victim to her own platform, claims that she just can't be with her father again. She'll return next month to see him in order to meet that social expectation. And then we finally realize right here what the platform actually is at the very end. He stares at my little blocks implanted into your chest. Aren't you glad you switched from handheld phones? And so basically that's revealing that in society we've stepped from telephones into cell phones, a revolutionary device in which almost anything can be performed on it, to something called a platform, in which your identity is spread transglobally through a digital world. And then at the very end we see that was a very hard decision to make. It takes a powerful woman to overcome that. You'll be able to see your father again soon, next month. And it states right here that you will not see him again before next month, but it will be next month because that is only when the social expectation would need to be met. She's already exceeded it for that month. She can't go back to her father until next month. That's what the platform is telling her to do. And the platform's praising her for her decision. This was a very hard decision to make, and it takes a powerful woman to overcome that. You'll be able to see your father again soon, just comforting her, consoling her. It's like half the time beating the child with the stick and half the time feeding it with the stick some candy or whatever. Mr. Potato Pie 337 and Skull Noodle 88 have subscribed to your platform. I'm so proud of you. And so you sort of see that twisted, comforting sound that is followed by a monotonous statement made by the AI. Because, this has happened while you were currently unavailable by visiting your father or something like that. And I'm so proud of you is something that you would say from a parent to a child, which she should have had with her father, but didn't have that because she was taken away from his father by the platform. Okay. So that pretty much sums it up for some of the basic things that I wrote in platform, but there's obviously more specifics that I haven't got into quite yet. I just wanted to cover those with you. And most people nowadays don't have a good appreciation for books and for short stories, but if you analyze something like that, you can see what messages it's trying to make. So, in Platform, for example, it's basically saying how social media is depriving us from our family and our friends. And though it may seem to draw people together, it's actually separating us at the same time. And it's also talking about how there's a sort of simplification of society that occurs through what we produce as entertainment and what we do as people. TV shows have gotten stupider over time. You look at some like horror movies back 50 years ago, Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. It's literally birds attacking people. But there's specific things that are in that movie that are completely sentimental compared to something like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I mean, honestly, which deprives the whole story of Winnie the Pooh. Just wanted to thank you for listening to my opinion and listening to my story. Um, Feel free to share this with anybody you know, because I think it's a good message that needs to be heard. I didn't touch base on everything and I didn't elaborate on everything, but I feel like it was a good thing to sort of get out there, you know. And like I said, this was supposed to be for me, but I don't mind if other people watch it as well. So, thanks for watching.